This next segment, Darren Parkin, called Number Up, the resident numbers man. What have you got for us?
We'll tie a bow around some of what we've discussed. Obviously, there are some sides that are 2-0 and 0-2 and what that all means. So the Newcastle Knights, this is not at all unfamiliar for them. It's the sixth time in 9 seasons that they've won their first 2 games, including last year when they beat the Tigers and the Dolphins to start the season. So of those previous 5, they've gone on to play finals 3 times and they finished bottom 4 twice, including last year, obviously, where they bottomed out completely. The Broncos, this is only the 3rd time this century that they've started a season 0-2. They did it in 2007 and still played finals, and they did it in 2021 and finished 10th that year. Couple of the others to note on the form side. So the Eels, who won 5 of their last 7 last season, they've now won 6 of their last 9, which includes 4 wins over finalists. They've beaten the Broncos twice in that run, once last year, once this year, and the Warriors and the Roosters. A couple of sides in very much contrasting form at the moment are Penrith and the Cowboys. The Penrith have now won 14 of their last 18 matches, and of those 4 losses, they've lost by 2, 4 and 4, and averaging only 14 points against in that time. Conversely, the Cowboys have won 5 of their last 18, and they have been wins over the Tigers twice, the Titans, the Knights and the Dragons, so not the most impressive of opposition. The last 2 I wanted to mention, so the Melbourne Storm, it's their highest scoring 2-game block in 4 years. They've scored 98 points to start the season, and it's their best start to a season since 2005. And probably going to give the final stat to the man of the round in AJ, Alex Johnston. In his 245th game, he obviously broke the record, the try-scoring record. He scored a couple of key stats that I found out of that. So he scored in 125 different games in his career. 58 times he scored at least twice. 15 times at least 3 times. He's also got a 4 and 2 5s. And Lee, he has scored 160 times on the left wing alone, which if you took just those, he would rank 11th all time just for those ones. And he's the only player to score 30 tries in a season twice. So just tying a bow around his wonderful effort this weekend.
Of all your stats, I think the key number we need to focus on is 2. There's only been 2 games of football in the NRL competition.
Correct.
For most of the teams. You don't win the competition in March. Depending on how you go, you could possibly lose the competition in March. I don't think there's any team at the moment that you'd put a line through because it's just so early. If you just looking at some of the history, remember how Penrith struggled for a big chunk of the first half of last season and still ended up in finals contention. Using the Broncos as an example, the year they finished with a wooden spoon, I am pretty convinced they won their first 2 games and everyone was talking them up and things started to unravel. The Broncos and the Vegas sides have all had a disrupted time of it in the last few weeks due to travel. Broncos travelled further than anybody. I absolutely think if you were planning the perfect pre-season, you wouldn't travel to the other side of the world and hope that would benefit you. So plenty of time to fix all this. The worry about teams starting so well, like Penrith, is that there's a long season ahead and you can't operate at 100% all the time. I do not believe teams like Newcastle that have started well, they need to start well because they finished in the wooden spoon positions last year, and that's why Manly and the Cowboys have got pressure on those as well, on those coaches as well, because they didn't have the best end to the season last year. So look, the whole state of Queensland has got an issue at the minute. The Dolphins are the only team to win a game, so maybe it's just too warm up here still, and people are just literally warming into it.
Love that. Just on AJ as well, I think we should just give a moment to that because that was they were incredible scenes down there. Obviously, I'm down in Melbourne here, and I had a conversation with a couple of my mates during a round of golf yesterday because, not many people follow the NRL down here, and they were asking me, who is this AJ guy? First we've ever heard of him, and I think that has to be said because the last time we saw a ground invasion in the AFL, it was for Buddy Franklin kicking 1,000 goals, and it was incredible. But Buddy Franklin was one of the superstars of the competition, like probably one of the greatest players that's played the game in the past 20, 30 years. AJ obviously has that number, but it's just amazing that he isn't like a big superstar player. He's just someone that has just turned up week in, week out and just scored tries. And I really love that.
Yeah, because it's an equivalent achievement, really. I mean, kicking 1,000 goals in Buddy's case would be, top 6 all-time scorer in the AFL. And obviously AJ now taking the record as the pinnacle scorer. And to state the bleeding obvious, you don't win games if you don't score. So,
and Buddy Franklin never got the Prime Minister of Australia to invade the ground. So I think that's an achievement in itself.